Alright, so you should have just watched that last video, and that was on arithmetic operators. In this video, we're going to cover comparison operators and logical operators. So we'll start with comparison operators. Those are things like the greater than, less than, equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and not equal to. So let's start with the first one, and we'll just call it greater than. So if I run an example, if I say 5 is greater than 6, and these should be familiar for most people, and if not, all you got to do is run a search and you'll be able to see them. Otherwise, I'm going to try and explain them here. So this is the greater than sign. It's pointing to the right. The less than sign would point to the left. So if I say 5 is greater than 6, that is a false statement. So if I run this, it returns false. But if I say 5 is less than 6, this should return true. And the way that we use these in code is we're going to test something on this side against something on this side, and if it returns true, we're going to keep doing it. But if it returns false, we're going to continue on to something else. So this video is just to show you the different things that we're going to be using. So the greater than, the less than, equal to. So if I say 5 is equal to 6, first thing you should note is we already have this. This is an assignment operator, and the way it works is with variables. So if I would have said x or something else is greater or equal to 6, that would assign this value to x. But here I cannot assign 6 to 5, and if I run this, we're actually going to get an error that says cannot assign to a literal. But if I said x equals 6 and run that, of course it works, and if I call x, I get 6. So let me clear this screen, and let's retry that. So 5 is equal to 6. So we've already seen that this won't work. So what they've come up with to compare if something on this side is equal to something on this side is a double equal sign. So if I put another equal sign in there, now this is the way you compare equality. So of course if I run this, it should return false because 5 is not equal to 6. And it does, but if I say 5 is equal to 5, or I should say equals 5, and run that, then we get true. So the other things that you can use to manipulate your code is the greater than or equal to sign. So if I say 5 is greater than or equal to 5, of course I get true. And then you have 5 is less than or equal to 5. And if you run that, you should get true because one of the options here is equal. So 5 is not less than, but it is equal to. And once again, these operators that we're going over are just to show you what's available to you when we get into coding, and you'll see them in more action over there. Now, one of the other ones that we haven't covered yet, because we've covered the greater than, the less than, the equal to, greater than or equal to, less than or equal to, and one of the last ones is not equal to. So if I say 5 is not equal to 5, and you'll notice in this one that we have the exclamation point. And when you see this pop up in coding, it means not. It's also known as the bang, so a lot of people read it 5 bang equal 5. I prefer to go with 5 is not equal to 5. And if you run this, we know that this is false because 5 is equal to 5, so we get false. But if I run it with 5 is not equal to 6, then we should get true because 5 is not equal to 6. Alright, and that right there is your comparison operators. And once again, even though they may not make sense right now, they are things that you've probably seen in your past if you've ever had a math class. Same thing with the arithmetic operators, although they may be a little bit different. You know what they are. Like you got the exponents. Of course, we had the double division to get an int, and these are just things that they've thrown into Python. So in our last set of operators that we're going to go into right now are the logical operators. Now these logical operators consist of and, or, and not. So let's go over the and first. Let me go ahead and clear my screen. All right, and now what I'm going to do is compare multiple things, joining them with and or. So we'll start with the and. So if I said 5 is greater than 6 and 5 exponent 3 equals 125. Of course, this is going to return false because both of these have to be true if you link them with an and. And this one is true because 5 raised to the third power equals 125. But 5 is not greater than 6. So let's run this and we get false. Now if I run the same problem but I put an or in there, now only one of these need to be true. So we're checking to see is 5 greater than 6 or is 5 to the third power equal to 125. So by running this, this should return true because one of these is true. But if I run this and I say 124 over here, of course now this will return false because both things that I'm checking are false. And you can link as many things as you want using and or. So if I wanted to check 3 things, then I could write something like this. 5 is less than 6, which is true, and 15 is greater than 14, which is true. Or 5 raised to the third power equals 124, which is false. Now, one of the things that I like to try and do when I'm doing longer problems like this is group things like they do in the order of operations. So I'll wrap parentheses around this and this just to clarify that this statement here, these both have to be true. And then leave the or, and if I had another statement over there, I would probably group them as well. So if I run this, it should come back true because of course both of these statements are true over here that I linked with my and this one is false. but I've got the or statement. So as long as this side over here holds true when linked by an or, this side, it doesn't matter what it comes back as. And of course, it's true because of this statement here. All right, so the last one in the logical operators is the not. And all that not does is reverse whatever it is. So if it's a true statement, it comes back false. If it's a false statement, it comes back true. Show you a couple examples of that real quick. So if I put not in front of 5 is greater than 6, of course 5 is not greater than 6. So it's a false statement. By putting not in front of it though, it should return true. And it does. Same thing if we switch it and make it a true statement, just like that, and then run it, it comes back false. All right, so there are your comparison and your logical operators. And in the next video, we'll hopefully jump over here. I don't think we've got anything else to do over here. And we'll get into creating files. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in the next video.